First and foremost, all praises are due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Salutations to the brothers around the four corners of the earth who are teaching this word and truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect, a few men, women, and children that believe in this word. This is your brother Kwad Sabah coming at you again with another lesson. This one is entitled RFID chips used to fight theft will lead to the Motb. And I'm referencing this video here as an example. As we know, as Elder Apostle Tahar always likes to say, all roads lead to the Motb. So they're going to come up with a myriad of excuses to bring in the Motb, and this is one of them, retail theft. Another one is, of course, children being kidnapped. All right, right now people are already microchipping their dogs, their animals. So you have various excuses, all right, to bring about the Motb. Another one is credit card theft, your money being taken out of your account, being robbed. Now people can go around with a machine, and if you have a credit card in your pocket, they can use the machine to get your information, all right? And then they can take that information and take all the money off your card. So all these things are going to be made as excuses to bring about the Motb. And some of them may be, done by the elites on purpose. They may be doing these things on purpose, sending people into stores, giving them a certain amount of money to go rob, some stores, send in 10 to 20, 30 people at a time to overwhelm the store. So these will be excuses to bring about the Motb. They have to create chaos, all right? And we know in 2019 that the pandemic was a prelude for them to gradually bring about the Motb. Because during that time, from 2019 from that time on, the retail theft has increased. Because, when people panic, when their money runs out, there was the shelves were emptying out during the pandemic period. So theft went up. People lost their jobs, so on and so forth. So let's play a little bit of this video. I may comment a little bit and then get some scriptures.
Top retailers are at what's known as the Retail Big Show, an annual showcase out in New York City.
Lauren Simonetti is at the Jacob Javits Center with how retailers are creatively using tech.
A theme of the NRF's Big Show is using technology to cut back on theft. The NRF put out numbers that showed there was a 93% increase in theft from 2019 to 2023. Francisco Mello.
Just like I said, that pandemic period was done purposely as a prelude to the Motb, because the theft increased from 2019 to 2023 by 90%, as she said. Let's continue playing.
Is with Avery Dennison. You make RFID technology, you put it in the product so that product stays in the store instead of being taken out by someone who didn't buy it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lauren. And what we do is we integrate the technology into items. A great example of that is the jacket that you see right here. In here, we have actually integrated the technology into the jacket that allows the jacket not just to be recognized, if you saw this just popped up, because it sees the jacket here, which also allows you to do theft prevention. The fact that you see what's happening to every item within the store allows you to significantly reduce that.
But that technology is embedded in the actual jacket.
Absolutely is. In this case, it's actually on a seam. You can actually see it here because it's white, but think about it, if it was black, as a consumer, you would not know what it is. Exactly.
And then you're traceable.
Absolutely.
And so is the product.
And the next step is for them to put the actual C-hip, the RFID chip, inside your forehead or your hands, and that's referencing, of course, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. So you can see it's a thing called gradualism. Okay, but let me let it play, and we'll get into that.
Absolutely.
Another thing that this RFID technology does is show you about the product. So if a customer wants to know where it was sourced, oh, look at that.
Absolutely. Here you got the example of product details linked to, say, re-commerce. You can think about elements of, how you cross-sell. You can think about a multitude of product items linked to, care and content and so on. And you can provide provide this to the consumer.
Be a requirement, this information, by some countries?
It will be, particularly in Europe. There's already a requirement for what we call the Digital Product Passport, or DPP, is an upcoming requirement, and this is allowing retailers and brands to be ready for that upcoming legislation.
It sounds like this technology can do a multitude of things, and I'm thinking right now of tipping. When you go to buy a cup of coffee, for instance, you're often asked to leave a tip. You think it goes to the barista, but that's not always the case.
That's a great example, and yes, by monitoring things from farm to fork, when you have a coffee at a specific bar, let's say, you know where that coffee has come from. So you as a consumer.
All right, we're going to go ahead and let's get into a definition of the word gradualism, and I'll get a couple scriptures, but you can see where everything is going to be meant to track you, because this devil wants to be like Yahweh. So he wants to set up the surveillance system to track you. So that's the ultimate goal. All right. So let's get into a definition of this word called gradualism. It says here, the policy of approaching a desired end by gradual stages. So we know the desired end is what? The MOTB, the RFID chip, radio frequency identification device. That is the desired end of these devils, the elites of the Edomites, the international bankers. So we can go back to what? During the time of the New Deal with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, you had the Social Security number invented for people. So that was one of the stages. Every person has a social security number. So that's part of the tracking system that's going to be implemented when they bring out that MOTB. Everybody has a number. And then you have a birth certificate as well. All right. So these were stages that they were setting up for the eventual plan of the MOTB, the full tracking surveillance state. And then you had the what? The UPC code, all right, which is the barcode in 1975, where you went into the store and they could scan an item, and every item, you know, from that point on, maybe a little bit later, started to have a barcode on it. So they could track the items, and, you know, the cost of the item would come up, what the item was. So that was another step. Then you had the credit card. Now you have the chip in the credit card. Of course, we have the cell phones, and now you have the QR codes. You see? Now you have, like I said, you have chips in animals. You have chips in the clothing at retail, in retail stores. So all roads lead to the MOTB. So all these things are gradual stages to the MOTB. And we know Jacob's trouble will be the driving force for the chip. Okay, they got to create the problems. Right now you have Donald J. Trump creating the problems with the deportations of our Israelite brothers. Also, they want to deport our Levite brothers, the Haitians, have them reported in September. So all these things are coming into play. He's cutting what? Medicaid, food stamps, Medicare. So that's going to cause a lot of rioting, civil unrest, race riots. Okay, then you're going to have what? Famine of the food. The food shelves emptying. So you know when people can't feed their families, you know what happens, you know, after that. People start stealing, start robbing, murdering, so on and so forth. Then you have pestilence and disease, okay, earthquakes, the internet going down, the electrical grid going down. All these things are being created, okay, and then you have those problems, like I said, people reacting, and then what do you have after that? You have the solution, which is the RFID chip that they already have ready. And so people are going to be ready after all the chaos to take that chip. But the elect, we're not going to be fooled, okay, by Satan's devices. Okay, the elect of the Hebrew Israelites, so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans here in Babylon, America, and scattered throughout the world, like the sand of the seashore, we're not going to be fooled by what this devil is doing. We know he's gradually bringing everything into play. You see, you can't just, they couldn't just come out with the MOTB in 1933, okay, under FDR. This had to be done in gradual stages. Let's read 2 Corinthians 2. Let's read verse 11. It says here, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So the we is us, the hopeful elect of the Hebrew Israelites, okay? We are not ignorant of what this devil wants to do, what he wants to do. So we're going to put our faith in Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, our total faith that he's going to watch out for us during those times. because we know not to take that MOTB because it's a death sentence. You know, if you take that chip, you're going to die in the presence of the angels. That's in Revelation chapter 14, verses 9 and 10. You're going to die in the presence of the angels, in the Lamb, Yahushua. So let's go to another, Psalms 37 and 7 for another scripture. We're going to rest in the Lord, you see. Let's go to Psalms chapter 37, and let's read verse 7. And it says here, it says, rest in the Lord. So we're going to rest in the Lord, rest in this truth, rest in faith. You see, that the Lord's going to deliver us out of the times that we're about to come into. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. And that's speaking of these devils, these Edomites. Don't worry about their houses, their money, their cars, and what they have, because their society is about to fall down. Okay? Their way of life is about to fall. We got next. Their control over the whole world in wickedness is about to go down. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. And his main wicked device he wants to bring, the elites of the Edomites, the international bankers, is this RFID chip. So let's go to one more scripture, the main one, Revelation 13 in verse 16. Revelation 13 and verse 16, and it reads, it says here, this is definitely a popular scripture, and he causeth, you see, and he causeth the international bankers, okay, the so-called white men, the devil or adversary, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So that's going to be what they're going to do, is make it voluntary first, okay? Make it a voluntary thing, okay? You know, you can just volunteer to get it. We're not going to force you to get it, but then they're going to try to force people to get it. So they have the FEMA camps, the concentration camps ready. They have all these things already set up, because eventually they're going to try to force people to get it. And the main people they want to get it are those of us who are a part of the hopeful elect. Okay, so they can have full control, but it's not going to work, you see? Let's read this. Let's read it again. Revelation 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So this is going to be a worldwide event by all the governments of the world. In that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, the chip, okay, or the name of the beast, the New World Order system, NATO, EU, okay, the international bankers, okay, who are going to bring this about, or the number of his name, which is the 666, the mathematical algorithm, okay, that's in the UPMC when you go to the store to scan. That's the 666 mark, the mathematical algorithm that's going to be inside that chip as well. So on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth, and salutations to you brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity, all right, as well as shalom to the few men, women, and children that believe in this truth. I hope this lesson was edifying to you. Shalom.